Primetime continues to roll, but does it have consequence as the Calvary is coming in the Pac-12? Also got some funny videos I want to react to, including, Australian reporters being scared of BBC. Don't do crack, kids, go roller skating. It'll all make sense when you see it. And also the Nick Chubb injury. I got it. It's gross. I'll show it to you in multiple angles, but stay tuned. What's up, everyone? It's another edition of Tricky Guy Sports. It's your host, Brent Bilski, a.k.a. Double B. What is going on? NFL Week 2 in the books. Got some interesting things to discuss there, including the Nick Chubb injury. If you did not see it because ESPN and ABC and others did not show it, it was just nasty, nasty, nasty. Plus some other things to discuss, again, as far as the whole NFL season, even though we still got 15 games to go. You guys want to freak out because that's just what people do. But I have to, don't bury the lead. Just hit off with the top. Let's talk about the biggest thing still going in college sports. Deion Sanders, Colorado football continues to say prime time. Oh, must be the money out there in Colorado. Deion Sanders in Colorado, it is very rare you see a sports story just take off the way that it's gone. I mean, look at this. This guy, this dude right here is dominating. Dominating sports, dominating the talk, dominating the game, 3-0, number 19 in the country, styling the whole time as he's doing it. Anyone remember this nonsense on SNL? Gotta love Deion. Am I getting a copyright infringement? I don't really care, because this is funny to me. Must be the money. Deion frickin' Sanders, man. Colorado Buffaloes. They are killing it out there. I mean, the amount of attention this dude is able to give Boulder, Colorado in just 3 weeks is phenomenal. Between him, his kids, the success, the swag, the talk, the fights, the late hits, the showing of the watches. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. To give you an idea of just how quickly Deion has basically turned Colorado into the newest edition of the U in Miami. It's insane. The amount of attention, eyeballs, and people he has gotten to Boulder, Colorado is something you really don't see very often. I mean, this is like the Linsanity, Tim Tebow, like just certain things where it just takes off. Manziel, just certain stories where it is just a flash and then boom, they're here. It is absolutely Mike Tyson. I mean, there's a million examples, but he is right along with them. I mean, look at this. Look at the celebs he brings out to Colorado. This was for the Colorado versus Colorado State game in the Who Gives a Shit shootout. Let's face it. This would normally be Colorado versus Colorado State, and a 9:30 kickoff would be usually the Who Cares Bowl. I mean, look at who he's got bringing out there. This is just a few of the celebrities. Kawhi Leonard and others are out there, but you got Offset, Key Glock, you got Master P, you got The Rock, and to smell what he's cooking. This just came out today, and you got to know this. Colorado versus Colorado State draws a late night record 9.3 million viewers. To give you an idea of just how crazy that is, for again, Colorado versus Colorado State, those 9.3 million viewers was the most watched late night college football game ever. It did not even kick off until after 10 p.m. Eastern time, and they did not secure this victory, which was a double overtime thriller, until 2:30 a.m. It is now the 5th most watched regular season game ever on the ESPN network for any time slot. Again, a 9:30 kickoff was the 5th most watched game ever in ESPN's history. They averaged, 1.7 million viewers last year. So let's repeat that. They went from an average in that time slot with that network, and usually college football games in that time slot averaged a 1.7 million viewers. Deion, within 3 weeks, got Colorado versus Colorado State to be 9.3 million versus average of 1.7 That is like 5-6 times higher than it's ever seen in that time slot. It is now the most streamed game, by the way, also all time for ESPN. And their first 2 games before this on Fox, by the way, averaged 8 million viewers. So it actually now, he's got the hype so big, it actually outdid on average even what they had done on Fox, a major network. He got an average of 8 million on a 9:30 kickoff out of, Colorado State on ESPN. He took the late night television that usually averages 1.7 million viewers and got it to 9.3. That is, it's unheard of. It's insane. It is phenomenal what Deion is doing out there. And he's got the glasses. He had the shades going. Those ended up selling $67 million in profit. Must be the money, man. He's doing it. Hey, look, and I got plenty to say about it. I got opinions that you may not like about it. And some of you are going to get a little cranky and you can kiss my ass. But, that dude is doing big, big things. So let's just start off with the good news for Colorado. You are 3-0. There's nothing to deny. You went from 1-11 last year, and thanks to Deion bringing in Shiloh and Shedeur and everyone else, Travis Hunter, and all these great recruits, and using the transfer portal in a way we've never seen. 70% of the roster, like 80-something people or something overall, were taken out and moved within 1 year thanks to the new transfer portal rules. He used it in a way like we've never seen before. He took a Colorado football program that had been garbage forever, that was 1-11 last season, losing to ranked teams by an average of like 27 points per game, and already they're 3-0, so they've tripled their win total from last year. They're number 19 in the country, and his son, by the way, Shedeur Sanders, led one of the greatest. This was an unbelievable drive in a rivalry game. They were down 20-28 with 2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining left in the game. He went 98 yards and was able to actually also get the 2-point conversion to tie the game, to send it to double overtime. Shedeur is that dude too. Again, I'll keep telling you, sons of pros. Shiloh, his other kid, the cornerback, forced 2 turnovers, had an 80-yard pick 6 return as well. But again, with 2:06 remaining, after 8 drives of no success whatsoever, and they looked like they were going to blow this game to the underdog in a rivalry game, Shedeur Sanders from the 2-yard line goes 98 yards, marches down the field, clutch as can be. He even said afterwards he was channeling his Tom Brady, who, by the way, is one of his mentors, and just absolutely dominated the game. So, it was the 4th biggest comeback in Colorado's history since 2005. He threw for 348 yards, has 4 touchdowns. Now, for the first 3 games, Shedeur Sanders is 107 of 136, 79% completion rate. He has 10 touchdowns to 1 interception and a 178.7 passer rating. He is now number 2 in the NCAA in passing yards per game, and is already the number 3 quarterback in a loaded NFL draft class for next year, according to Mel Kiper's and others, and is rising with a bullet. Other than Caleb Williams, he might pass May as now the number 2 quarterback already after just 3 games in Colorado, because of immortal drives like this. That, again, was one of the biggest comebacks in Colorado history. The kids went and rushed the field. It was an unbelievable experience, so that's been phenomenal. They are without question as well. Colorado football is, again, without question, the number 1 story in sports. They just are. NFL, everything going on, they are all taking a secondary. Alabama struggling. Texas is doing well. There's, Caleb Williams, USC, they look like they're a big deal. All of them are now beneath Colorado Buffalo football. They are all taking a secondary seat. Like I said, the shade glasses after the CSU coach was talking smack, that's ended up, he was wearing the glasses. He had all the celebs wearing the glasses. Again, the celebs were out in full force. This is Boulder, Colorado. This isn't USC. This isn't Miami. This isn't the U. Look who he got to show up by the 3rd week to come support him in Colorado, in Boulder. The Rock showed up. Master P showed up. Famous rappers all over the place are showing up. They were ESPN and Fox kickoff shows, both of them. ESPN and Fox were both there for the noon kickoff show. Their whole weekend and their whole thing was all surrounded around Deion Sanders and primetime in Colorado football. It's the first time they've both been there in 25 years. They had 53,141 fans in attendance, who, again, rushed the field after the great comeback. The tickets, by the way, were averaging $214 a a ticket. $214 a ticket for Colorado football. That is Taylor Swift equivalent price ranges to all of a sudden to where this known who gave a crap team is selling the hottest ticket in sports. All their home games are already almost sold out. Again, the U feel with the celebs. They had Lil Wayne. Do I have that? I think I have that somewhere. Do I have the Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne brought him out, by the way, which was also very, very cool to watch as they did their intro there. That was also fun. They had also, I'm going down the list here. Deion Sanders just on 60 Minutes. They were the most streamed ESPN game ever, and they did all this in 3 weeks. It's crazy what they're doing. It's crazy. So again, 3-0, all the success in the world. They're the biggest story going. Deion Sanders has taken this little school and turned, it's not little, but in the world of the blue bloods and the big schools out there, they've already beaten Texas, Alabama in ratings. They now set records for ESPN in ratings. They are just, everyone is just discussing, looking, we're already, projecting where does Shedeur go as far as in the pros? Where does Deion go? Does he go to like one of the big universities next, or does he go to the NFL even though he said he doesn't want to? It is everything that we're dominating. So all that is great. I will say, though, after I've given all that love, I need to remind you, as great as the story is, and it's a phenomenal story out there in Colorado, Deion and his kids. Shiloh returning touchdowns now, Shedeur playing great, Deion looking amazing. It is so cool to watch. It is a lot of fun, and they're doing it with all the style and flash that we love to see as just a fan base and to create some attention. However, all that being said, it did require a pretty miracle comeback at the end of that 2 minutes because they were down 28-20 to a 23.5-point underdog. I don't think people, let's face it, without that drive, and yes, without wheels, I'd be a wagon or whatever you want to say. But the fact is, they were down to a 23.5-point underdog at home. And it took a pretty impressive 98-yard drive with 2 minutes left, or they would have already, completely, with all their eyeballs and all their attention, hindsight being 2020, yes, did it end up working out? Absolutely. But they almost blew it to a team that had no business being there because Deion and that bullseye are pissing people off. You can say what you want. You can, come at me all you want to do it. But the fact is, I told you this a while ago, and I even said, and he says as much as well, that he wants it. But I am going to say this was a called shot here, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you once again, I am right to the point of boredom.
See, I done told you.
I will bring things back when they're appropriate. This was after the first victory, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. So this was after the first victory, and Colorado football started to get attention. I did say there's one caveat to Deion Sanders, his ego, and everything that he brings. Be careful of the bullseye. I will play this for you now. Remember, I said this after the first week, and you almost just saw it happen with Colorado State. A 23.5-point underdog that had no business being in that game was up most of that game and really probably should have won that game. So, after the first week, remember, I was the one who said this. It's a whole program, and the bullseye, not to mention, the bullseye that comes with a loudmouth like Deion Sanders is only going to get that avalanche, that snowball is rolling down that mountain, man. This guy is not going to be quiet, especially if they keep winning early on. And I'm telling you, as fun as it is, if you don't think the louder he gets and the more that he sticks it in everyone's eye, that not just coaches, but other players are going to start suddenly circling Colorado.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
You could just, if anyone that has a brain that's not going to be caught up in the, let's be afraid to say X, Y, or Z, you should have been able to see this coming. That, already Colorado State was not supposed to even be close in that game. They were so fueled by anger and just all this just nonsense as far as like all the talk, Deion this, Colorado that. They were already a 23.5-point underdog, was so pissed off that they were almost able to upset them in Boulder after their impressive runs versus TCU and Nebraska. That is already, after just 3 weeks, the amount of anger you are seeing brought towards Colorado and Deion Sanders and everything that he brings with him. The fact is, and it's not about, look, Deion is great for a lot of things. He's also very loud, and he's also very brash. And with that, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, as a sports fan, I'm enjoying watching it, but it does come with a bullseye. His kids are now going to have a bullseye. TCU is a long way ago now, and a lot of, already ESPN and, big day kickoffs and all that stuff. It's a long time ago. The Rock coming up. Everyone now is circling Colorado football. And the bad news is the Calvary's coming. Their next two games are number 10 Oregon and number 5 USC. Two schools that are not used to being the secondary story to little Colorado. And Deion, again, you got to remember back, in baseball, in football, and some of the other situations Deion was in, he did get himself into not legal trouble. He's never been a bad guy. But as far as attention becoming maybe, and his ego and his brashness maybe becoming bigger than the team. This is not a story that is somehow new to Deion Sanders. And if you're trying to get so upset by me saying this that you can't handle that, I don't know, just go somewhere and cry about it, because this has been the Deion Sanders tale for a very long time. Extremely talented, doesn't cause any trouble off the field, a good dude, a man of faith, all of that. But he does say and do a lot of things that bring an extra amount of anger, frustration, or motivation, whatever you want to call it. Teams want to kick Deion's ass specifically because Deion ask for all the smoke. He has done it since he's a kid. He is proud of it. He's not going to hide from that. He'll be the first one to tell you, damn right, I ask for all the smoke. And with him asking for it means his kids are going to ask for it, and everyone surrounding him is also now going to be part of the bullseye. This is the collateral damage of the Deion Sanders ego. I could show you press conference and quote after quote. He was just on 60 Minutes. He's been on with Skip, Shannon talking smack. He is just a smack talking ass dude, and it's not really, not everyone is enjoying it, especially the other people in the Pac-12 and other universities out there that are not used to this happening. So, I can show you a bunch of them. Let me show you, here's a good one here, talking about his opinion.
What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me. So you ain't nothing you could do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what would change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care.
And he doesn't care, and I love it, and it's great for sports and all of that. But it is true. There are two things that you need to know about when somebody, especially a coach, does some stuff like this. There are two quotes that I think are good to know here. One, it's an old Japanese quote. The nail that sticks out gets hammered. The nail that sticks out gets hammered. The other quote I would give you is Newton's law that every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. That is just the fact of some of the maybe cons that come with Deion Sanders as the coach. Now, there's a million pros. There is a million pros. What he's doing with Colorado football is phenomenal. But if we are going to be 100% and we're going to be authentic and we're going to be real with that attention and that swag, the nail that sticks out gets hammered, and for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And not only is the reaction already been seen by a 23.5-point underdog in Colorado State, almost beating them in their home field. Next up is Oregon. After that, number 5, USC and Caleb Williams. If you don't think they want to shut them up, you are out of your rabbit-ass mind, and I don't know if this program is really ready for the amount of just fierce motivation that Deion has brought to them. He's asked for the smoke. He's got the smoke. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Look, it's still fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm the snot out of this. And again, I am not saying anything bad or anything Deion wouldn't say about himself. Deion pregame. This is another one I can show you. Deion pregame, by the way, brought in his own mom because there was the whole thing, and I thought it was overblown. The Colorado State coach who's a little bit more, kind of Urkel-y, Uncle Phil, whatever you want to call it, and he was saying how Deion always has his glasses and his hat on in interviews. And so the Colorado State coach said, well, when I do interviews, my mom taught me to take my glasses off and, take my hat off and be respectful. So Deion really, took it in like the whole, oh, you're talking about my mama thing. He actually brought his mom into the pregame locker room speech. I mean, this is the beauty of it. This is what Deion, he gets, a lot of this other stuff, and he knows how to, make a story, stir a story, bring the attention to them. It's Deion's specialty. And so he had him and Mama out there talking before the game. By the way, The Rock is behind them. The Rock, in a group of 3 people talking, The Rock is in the background right now to Deion and his mother, to give you an idea of just how much attention and just prime time commands. He and his mama talking, and The Rock is sitting there just quiet, just enjoying the show. I mean, look at this. This is phenomenal.
I get upset a lot. Unless they talk about y'all, or they talk about my mom. See, back where I come from, when somebody says something about your mom, you put one foot back. You were ready to get down. He didn't directly say something about my mama, but he alluded to the fact that his mama raised him, and my mama didn't raise me right.
I raised him right. Told him to always be yourself. And if you have to kick ass, kick ass.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. He's got The Rock fired up. Deion's got him and his mom so engaged and so going that The Rock is sitting there, the greatest talker the world has ever seen in the professional wrestling world. He is taking a back seat right now to Deion and his mom, and he's got him fired up. That's how good he is at talking. Is this real life? That's how good he is at leading. I mean, Deion is that dude. I'm just saying it also comes with, the Travis Hunter hit. Now, I'm not trying to do the, she deserved it because of what she was wearing type thing. I'm not saying that. However, and a lot of people talked about this, and old Colorado State's Blackburn, the quarterback who laid this hit, has definitely got a lot to say about this. The dude's been getting death threats. That's how much attention he's brought to Boulder. It's still, I don't think people understand enough. It's Boulder, Colorado. No, this is not football town. This is not Miami or, Los Angeles. This is little Colorado town. But the hit that was laid on LeBron James. I'll show you the hit with LeBron's tweet about it. As LeBron tweeted, I don't understand the difference between targeting and what I just witnessed. I've seen others get thrown out for far less. This was blatant and uncalled for, in my opinion. And it was a dirty hit. It was a nasty hit to where this guy who's about to do it actually got death threats for doing it. But that's just, it's not justifying the what she was wearing, therefore she deserved it answer. But I am saying they are pissing a lot of people off. And unfortunately, sometimes morons take matters into their own hands and do stuff like this.
Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator, moment ago, downfield, incomplete, but a flag down.
Not
intended
cool.
for Hunter, who took a shot afterwards by Henry Blackburn. And now some words, Shadur Sanders coming to the aid of his number 1 target there.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you, as a former safety, that's a very dumb play on the part of Henry Blackburn.
Yeah, it was, and it pissed them off. But I mean, and by the way, Travis Hunter is now out for the next 3 weeks at least with some bruised and cracked ribs and a possibly damaged liver. I mean, so but it didn't come out of nowhere. It did not do not pretend like this team hasn't been swagging and talking and running their mouths and getting everyone's attention, and you're talking about my mama, and no, and we're coming to kick your ass, and doing all the things that a lot of programs do. Not as loud as they do, but I mean, this is the U level loud. And so before the game, this is Travis Hunter himself was, again, there was a lot of pregame tension. That hit didn't just come out of left field. Things were heated. They're going at it. This is all before the game. They've already had a lot of tension before this even started. Not justifying a cheap shot. I'm not. Travis Hunter, by the way, and Deion have both forgiven Blackburn for the hit. But I mean, this, again, the nail that sticks out gets hammered, and for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now, in this case, was that an overreaction? Absolutely. He did not deserve that hit. And for all, the things we've been discussing with this, I think it's important to mention that Travis, being a class act, actually has his own podcast, and he already went on to say, dude, it was a football play, even though he could have been, look, Deion and them are classy. I'm not trying to say that they don't carry themselves. Besides the smack talk, they don't do anything other than just talk a lot of smack. So Travis was even saying himself on his own podcast that, dude, he's not mad at the guy for it. Stop sending death threats. It's not that big a deal.
Football, though, at the end of the day, stuff like that's going to happen. So I just stay humble. He did what he was supposed to do. It's football. Something bad's going to happen on the field sooner or later. We just got to get up and fight again. That's what I try to do. Good thing the doctors stopped me, because if there was no doctors there, I would have still been out there playing. But I'm thankful for everybody that helped me that day. Lord, you got smoked. Yes, I definitely got smacked.
Deion's also said the same thing, but Travis showing class there. And, I mean, look, everyone's kind of forgiven everything and they've moved on. But the fact is, don't think that extra motivation to smack Travis Hunter did not come from not just Deion talking, from all the attention Colorado's getting, from all the smoke that they're asking for, but he was specifically running his mouth at the other team pregame. I'm not saying it makes it okay, but I am saying that people are going to, in college football, they're not used to a meteoric rise like this. And let me clarify this part, because I probably waited too long to this. I know who I am and I know what I look like.
Because I'm white. Because he's white. Because he is white. Look at him, man. What you want?
I will repeat. Deion Sanders is a good dude. Deion Sanders is a man of faith. Deion Sanders, for all of the things and controversies that he used to have, you never once heard about domestic violence, breaking the law, doing drugs, anything that was really a truly distraction or something that could be like, oh, that really, speaks to a bad character. Deion Sanders has been a good coach. He has been a great dad. He has been a phenomenal leader. He has been one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. Again, a man of faith, someone who really believes that this is his calling because he's here to mentor children. I am not saying Deion Sanders is a bad guy, but Deion will be the first to tell you, and his own mother will tell you, that we like to run our mouths, that we want the attention, we want the smoke, and we want you to come at us with everything that you got. With that comes sometimes a cheap shot, or a little bit of extra anger, or a little bit of more fuel to a fire that you're not just stoking, you are pouring in gasoline and dancing behind it saying, come on and bring it. It's only going to get worse. Travis Hunter's now out for 3 weeks. Number 10, Oregon, comes up this Saturday. Then after that, it's number 5, USC, and all of their Pac-12 schedule. And there's a lot of schools that suddenly went from who cared about Colorado, let's just go ahead and have our basic normal week, to all of a sudden being very into the game, being very fired up, and being very motivated to shut you and your kids up. So I'm just saying, I am not saying that it's always okay, but I am saying be careful what you wish for. I understand what I look like. I understand that I'm a cis straight white male talking about Deion and his kids and everything else. It is not a hatred thing. It is nothing like that. Matter of fact, I got 1 and 2 here for you if you really think that's the issue. I am saying Deion himself will tell you, I like the attention. I like the smoke. And now what's coming, I think suddenly this story might, it's with everything that goes up, it must go down. And I don't know how number 10 and number 5 USC, or number 10 Oregon, number 5 USC, are going to respond to all of this extra smoke that he is bringing. Okay? Good. Let's move on. NFL happened, and there was a lot of interesting things that are going on in the National Football League. Here are some of the scores. But, I mean, the big things for me, if I had to look at, like, the top stories, if I had to look at the headlines, I guess, for what's happening in the NFL, the big things to me, Brady to the Jets might still be a thing. I mean, Zach Wilson, unfortunately, has not been, the number 2 pick that they are hoping for so far. Still doesn't seem ready. It sucks. It just is what it is. But the new news is that Tom Brady is not officially an owner yet of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's still not had his minority stake. It's going to take some more paperwork and nonsense. But point being that he is still eligible to be a quarterback this year in the NFL. And if the Jets continue to struggle, it might still be a story there. And it looks like it's probably going to happen as long as Wilson is behind, the snap there. Belichick along with Saban, I love watching both of them struggle without their quarterbacks. quarterbacks. Now Saban's college, so let me stick to Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Everyone knows his ego. Everyone knows that Bill Belichick wanted to make a point of life without Tom Brady. He has not had success before him, and he really hasn't had much success with him after. Even with Mac Jones doing at least okay, they are now 0-2. They are now going to have to break the, out of 270 teams, 239 teams that started 0-2 have never made the playoffs. But I love watching it because Bill Belichick to me has been one of the biggest just cranky, old, whiny pains in my ass. I know he's a great coach. I also think he's an egomaniac, egotistical, kind of a dickwad, and I've never been a fan of him personally, and I never really thought his ego was right in the, check his ass could cash when it came to the Tom Brady thing and trying to basically move him out for the last couple of years of his career. In better news, the Dallas Cowboys, this might be your year. This might honestly be your year. If anyone really has an opportunity to say we should make the Super Bowl after just 2 weeks of play, you got to put the Dallas Cowboys at the top. You got to. Not because they're America's team, not because it's fun to say, not because it's going to make a lot of people happy or angry. It's because they're 2-0, and so far they have won those first 2 games by a total score of 70-10. They are not just winning, they are beating the snot out of other NFL teams. Their defense is absolutely insane. Micah Parsons might be the best overall player in football, not just on the defensive side of the ball. He might just be the best player, period. Their secondary sick. And now Mike McCarthy, we really gave Mike McCarthy a lot of crap saying, you really got to let Kellen Moore do his thing. And McCarthy was adamant in saying, look, Kellen Moore likes to light up the scoreboard, and I get it, and that's awesome, but it's not what I need. I need to lean on my defense. I want to, quote, run the damn ball, and so I need to manage my offense to just be good. It doesn't have to be record-breaking. This doesn't have to be the greatest show on turf. I want to rest my defense. I want to run the ball, and I want to manage the game with Dak and limit some of his, inconsistencies when it comes to interceptions and sometimes making bad decisions. The fact is, managing that offense the way that he has not only led to the defense holding, again, 2 teams now, first one to a donut, the second one only the 10, but they've also scored 70 points in those 2 games. Now, a lot of that has been defense helping, but still, at the end of the day, they have outscored 2 teams so far, including the Giants, their own division rival, by a combined total of 70-10, with arguably maybe not just the best defense this year, but one of the best we've seen in a while. The Dallas Cowboys are for real. And you got Pollard, you got CeeDee Lamb, who's a monster out there. Dak Prescott is not lighting the world on fire, but at least he's not throwing interceptions left and right. Matter of fact, it was the first time since 2 years ago that he went 2 games without throwing a pick. So, look, Dallas Cowboys have to be your number one with a bullet out there, especially in the NFC, where there's still a lot of shakiness, a lot of things to still discover there. I'm very sad about Russell Wilson. That looks like, he's still just, ever since Sierra, and he kind of let himself get a little inflated, he just doesn't seem to be the same guy, does he? He just doesn't seem to be the same guy. The fourth quarter magic of Russell Wilson is long gone, man. This dude went from one of the best and most special fourth quarter clutch performing quarterbacks I have seen to now it's a joke. It's not even like I'm just saying this for no reason. I will give you the numbers in the first 2 weeks to show you that outside of, using Peyton, because the first half is always usually the coaches and quarterbacks, they all get together and they have a bunch of scripted plays in the first half. And then the second half is when you have to actually improvise and kind of earn your paycheck, so to speak. And Russell Wilson used to be the man at this. It used to be fourth quarter was his time. Now, the numbers have gotten so bad versus the first half. In the first half of the first 2 games for the Denver Broncos this year, under Peyton's tutelage and arguably his scripted playbook, in the first, he's 23 of 27 now for 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. In the second half, when it's actually had to be a little bit of him, and yes, he's learning a new system and everything else, the fact is he is 22 of 39 for only 206 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. It is not just a little bit of a difference. This is Houston Astro banging the drum level of home versus away stats that are just absolutely alarming. It is just showing that Russell Wilson right now cannot do what he used to do, what made him so special. And
what does that do? Does that blow your mind?
It does blow my mind, and it also it depresses me a little bit because I was the biggest Russell Wilson guy for the longest time. We shall see there. The Bears, I don't even want to start on the Bears. Holy Lord, you guys... Jesus, got to be a little frustrating out there in Chicago, doesn't it? You thought this was your year, man. I know Bears fans. Oh, you poor bastards.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Just wait till Justin Fields gets the chance to show that he's ready to take it to the next level, and we're going to kick ass, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Within 2 games, Bears fans, and I mean, a lot of it is, it's a little bit of trauma, PTSD from all the years prior, and, when you really consider, too, the quarterback situation. Y'all really thought this was the year. You thought this was it, and already 0-2, and the Fields, they cannot field an offense to save their life. He's trying to reinvent himself like, unfortunately, a lot of these running quarterbacks do. They want to suddenly prove that they can stay in the pocket and they don't need to use their legs. His offensive line is a sieve. It is just a dumpster fire out there in Chicago, as they've already had a lot of Bears fans go ahead and jump off the bandwagon with 15 games to go. So there's a lot of those things going on. But there's another point I want to make, and I'm going to repeat the fact that I am really good at this, and I'm usually right until the point of boredom.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
When it came to paying the running backs in the NFL, and, looking at not just the numbers and success stories of the teams that are winning, not doing and paying the high contracts for their running backs, but also just the understanding that it's such a risky investment nowadays. The amount of injuries that have already happened to major running backs within just 2 weeks of the season so far. And it's, of course, headlined by Nick Chubb, but it's also Saquon Barkley. It's also Montgomery. It's also Eckler with his ankle sprain. There's been a lot of pain, and no more worse than Nick Chubb's injury. Ow, 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 ow. I'm about to bring you, and I'm going to warn you, ESPN and ABC did not show you this for a reason. I am warning you right now, if you are squeamish, if you're at work, if, whatever, if you're sensitive, if you've had a knee injury yourself, I'm about to show you the Nick Chubb injury in full. It was, bouncing around the internet, and a lot of people maybe, unless you, fart around a lot on social media and TikToks and Instagrams like I do, maybe you didn't see this. I'm warning you, it's disturbing, it's gross, and it's serious. Nick Chubb is not just out for the year. Nick Chubb is going to be out for a very long time. This is now the second time his knee has done this. I'll show you the first angle, and then I'll give you some more here. Last time I'm warning you, it's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. I hope you've heard me enough times to where this makes sense. Here we go. Ow. Look at it again. Completely bent backwards. ACL, MCL, everything is torn on that thing. PCL, it's the same knee that hurt in Georgia in 2015. And I'm going to keep showing it to you here because at least if you want to see it, I'm going to let you see it. This is the Nick Chubb injury that happened last night, Monday Night Football. Oh my God. Ow. Look at that. Absolutely just, oh my God. It is doing a right angle, and it's not, it is inverted. It's going the wrong way, and it's doing a straight, yeah. Do you want to see more angles? I got more. And matter of fact, I'll show you again. It goes along. It's the same knee and almost the same thing, except this time, the first time in Georgia, he wasn't hit. But if you want to see both back to back here, I don't know how Nick Chubb, God bless him if he can come back from this. You remember in 2015, this is not the first time this happened. Remember this in Georgia? Ugh. There it is in Cleveland. There it is in Georgia. There it is in Cleveland. We'll put them both at the same time here. Let me go ahead and get back to the video, and we'll just stop where we need to stop here. This has not just happened to him once. This has happened to him twice. And almost at the good angle. Let's go right about there. Let's go right about, I'm trying to get a good angle of both. I guess I could just play it one more time. Let's just play it one more time. Knee snapping back. There we go. There's a perfect angle. I was able to pause it just right there. That happened once in Georgia in 2015 to that same knee. Now it happened last night in Cleveland. Nick Chubb is in big boy trouble. It sucks. He doesn't seem like a bad person. I am rooting for him, of course, but that's just, ugh. There's nothing normal, healthy, or easily recoverable about what he's gone through not once but twice now on that knee. And again, this time tore every goddamn thing on the planet. MCL, PCL, LCL, already been reconstructed. The good news for Cleveland is that at least Jerome Ford was able to come in, run for a $106, catch 3 as well for 25 yards, and get a touchdown. But, I mean, this unfortunately does, though, go back to what I said a long, long time ago. This is only reinforcing the idea that, dude, you don't pay these running backs, man. I mean, this is the reason. I mean, he's not just out. He's out for a very long time. Imagine if Cleveland would have bowed to his request this year, along with some of the other guys out there, and given him the long-term investment and money that he was looking for. They'd be in trouble. I mean, unless they got insurance for his money, because he's going to be out for a very long time. And again, he's not the only one. Austin Eckler already has an ankle sprain. He's out. Saquon Barkley. I almost forgot about this one. Saquon Barkley. Another one who was very clear about, I want money, I want long-term, I want this, I want that. He's out with a knee injury. He's out for at least a while.
Barkley needs a lot of help to come off the field. He's dealt with injury issues in his career, obviously. The most severe was the...
Yeah, so he's out for a while. And then look, I mean, there's other obviously big-name NFL players as well. Joe Burrow and his calf. Be careful out there, Cincinnati. Just ask A-Rod and Kevin Durant about how calves can lead to Achilles, how the knee bones connect to the blank bone. You know what I mean? That calf injury can usually put a lot of stress on an Achilles, and then suddenly you're not just like, oh, do we have to wait till the bye week? It's like, oh, we have to wait bye-bye to the next couple years of our franchise. Waddle's got a concussion. Richardson's got a concussion. You got Adams out there as well with a concussion. So there's been some hits from some other people, but already it's not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 major running backs in the NFL between Chubb, between Eckler, between Saquon, and Montgomery that have already suffered significant, at least multi-week to maybe career-ending injuries in the first few weeks of the season, besides the fact that, like I pointed out 100 times, from 2009 to 2021, you look at every Super Bowl winning team's top rusher, the most they got paid was $2.5 million. There is a big reason general managers are just very reluctant to pay running backs long-term money and give them long-term deals. It is not a thing against you. It's not that they hate you. It's not that they're just being specifically, angry towards that position. It's just the fact. And even with Cleveland, this kid Ford came out of nowhere, ran for a $106 and had 3 catches for 25 yards. You are just the most risky investment by far of any position on the field, and has already shown its way to be true again. I've said it. GMs have said it. We've all told you.
See, I done told you.
However, what happened to Nick Chubb is unnatural. It is unhuman. It was so gross to watch. I'm almost sorry I had to show it to you, but ESPN and ABC wouldn't even show it. You kind of need to understand in case, my fantasy team screwed up, or, he needs to come back sooner than later. He's not just dealing with I twisted my knee. That thing went all the way backwards. One more time in case you want to see it, because you're just a masochist. I mean, this dude did not just hurt himself like he did in Georgia just 2015, not that long ago. That thing went all the way the wrong direction. That thing went like that. He is out for a very long time. It's very, very sad. Sorry to hear that, Nick Chubb. All right, I'm looking at the clock. I need to go ahead and get things going here. Let's go ahead and have some fun with some videos, and it's not, disgusting ones that make you want to puke. Call it a day.
You seen it? Don't look at me. Don't look at me, little puppet.
Have you seen this? Have you read about this?
All right, this part's a lot more fun. Tricky Guy Sports on YouTube. Always go there to look up this part. It's just a bonus feature where I look at either funny, sad, or somewhere in the middle, cringeworthy videos to react to, and we try to enjoy ourselves at the end to kind of cleanse the palate. This one's not as bad as the Chubb injury. This is a BMX biker. This is like skateboarding. I think certain, extreme sports, eventually you're just going to just bust your shit up. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the way it goes. Here's a BMX biker doing exactly that. You got me? Got me on video? Look at me. I'm jumping up the rock. I'm dead. Did you get it? Did you get my death on tape? I mean, God. Face plant. As they're saying, face plant of the year. I don't have a lot of other ones to reference. That's got to be up there. It's got to be at least nominated. Even his buddy going, oh, that's bad. That's ouchy. That's ouch my face. That's, I used to ride bikes. Oh. Yow. So that's a good way to kick things off. Some guy getting decapitated. Nut shots are always fun. It's always fun watching someone get hit in between the legs.
He kicked him in the ding ding.
This is a golf one, and I mean, the gods were just not in this man's favor. The gods clearly wanted this man to either maybe not have children or just experience extreme pain. I don't know if he was a dictator in a past life, but his dick got tatered for sure in the most odd scenario you can ever seen in a golf shot. Check this out. Just teeing off. Looks like a 7-iron. Right to the nuts. I mean, you wouldn't believe that if someone told you, as many times as golf and fishermen both share the ability to lie about a story. If he would have tell you that would have happened without that being on camera, you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it. Look at that. Right off the little tee box there, right into the old twig and berries. Right into that old hole-in-one. Maybe he does have a hole in there. Maybe he's just got one hole now. He's now a she, thanks to that golf shot. Right between them.
He kicked him in the ding ding.
So that's interesting. What else do I want to bring you that's just fun? Oh, cheerleaders. We all love cheerleaders, right? I mean, who doesn't? Cheerleaders are great. They lift your spirits. You know, the team's doing bad, or you just want someone pretty to look at. Let's go with cheerleaders, right? Yay, cheerleaders. This is more for the ladies, this one, I guess. This is a male cheerleader living his worst nightmare as he's trying to do a backflip, and let's see if you can catch what went wrong. Go, Iowa! Go, team! There goes my pants. And his pants fell down. I feel like that might have been staged. I think he maybe wanted, look, I'm not putting it past, college kids wanting to go viral. And really, when you're a cheerleader, male cheerleader, you're in shape. You want to let the ladies know. You want to show them what's doing. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do a backflip and suddenly, the Timberlake Janet Jackson. Oh, did I flash you? Did I show it to you? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh. Hey, Susie, did you see that? See my pants fall down? What you think of that? Just think of that. That might have been staged. This other one was not staged. This was due to alcohol and a wedding. A cheerleader, I don't know what wedding, and I don't really care, was having a good old time on the dance floor trying to prove herself, and just like the biker from before, might have a grade 3 concussion. Yay! I love weddings. We're number one. We're number one. Yay! And I'm dead. She was having such a good time. But you could tell by the shakiness a little bit that I'm assuming I was not there. And yes, it makes an ass out of you and me, but she unfortunately made an ass out of herself right there trying to do the leg kick, and I think there might have been, I'm guessing, a little bit of the old devil's juice there. A little stumbly. I can still do it. I was prom queen back in 1996. Bah! It's the suddenness, and her head just thwaps off the floor there. One more time. One more time for the kids at home. Why not? And go team, and go to the hospital. And go team, and go lights out. And go team, and go night-night. What else do I have? Let's see. Okay, sure. Look, it just is what it is. I don't want to hear any crap. I don't want you to get mad at me. I don't want you to say anything wrong. This, in fact, is a man, a reporter, an Australian reporter who is scared of the BBC. All right? And you know what that means if you know what that means. Here's an Australian reporter who is afraid of the big black cockerel. The big old black cockerel. Check it out.
Big black Australop cockerel, one of 500 birds that are being judged today at the show.
That BBC's scary, man. I know, man. It's bigger than the white chickens. Let's face it. It's just bigger and a little bit more intimidating than those little white chickens behind it. Those little cuckins. I mean chickens. I mean chickens. What am I saying?
Big
what am I saying?
Black Australop cockerel, one of 500 birds that are being judged today at the show.
You know, I've heard from people that sometimes it can be intimidating. You're going to get mad at me for saying words. You're going to get mad at me for using the definition. That was a big black cockerel right there. And it scared that poor little man, and he went running the other direction. I am not lying or embellishing anything I just said. If you don't like it, yeah. This last one, in case your butt hurt, in case you're crying, in case you're upset, go roller skating. This is a real commercial. And let me go ahead and preface this. Okay, last one I want to bring you, then I'm going home. I used to live in Las Vegas, and there was once upon a time commercials, just so you know, get so real in Nevada, or I don't know, who really, it's the desert mostly, it's a lot of crazy-ass people, what commercials there, stay there, the whole thing. I remember there used to be this old meth commercial they used to show about real people that started off looking all nice and sweet, and in like 2 years looked like the Crypt Keeper. They took that one down, but the point being, there's a lot of extreme commercials out there in Las Vegas. This is a real commercial, and it's sports related because it's about roller skating. All right? This is all 100% real, and I'll tell you what, if you're having a bad time, if you're a kid out there, if you need something to do, let's all go roller skating in Nevada at the Roller Kingdom. Check it out.
Hey, kid.
This is real.
Like some drugs? The first one is free.
Oh, boo, Wendy.
Check out my van.
Where's my visual? Let's try that again. Is it being banned here? Is it also being banned here? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on?
Hey,
here
kid.
we go. See, they try to censor. Nevada has all these crazy-ass commercials, and they try to censor it. It tried not to show the video. Too bad. I got it. So one more time, in case you need to go roller skating and you're a kid out there looking for something to do, go to Roller Kingdom in Nevada because it'll keep you away from all sorts of stuff.
Hey, kid. Would you like some drugs? The first one is free. Want to check out my van? I got some candy.
Hey, kid, want to join our gang and spray paint under a bridge?
No, bug off, man. I'm going roller skating.
Woo!
I want to be addicted to roller skating.
Yeah.
Crap. Because we roller skate today, we will go to college tomorrow. Prison is full of people that have never roller skated.
I'm Brad Armstrong, owner of Roller Kingdom in Reno, Nevada, keeping your kids off the streets since 1999.
I say no to drugs. I say no to gangs.
I say no to unplanned pregnancy.
I say no to meth. I say no to reefer. I say yes to roller skating.
Yeah.
Man, this Roller Kingdom is really putting us out of business.
You said it, man. This deal sucks.
But you know what? Maybe we should give up this life of crime and start roller skating.
Yeah, why not? Roller skating. Does anyone actually roller skate anymore? You can at Roller Kingdom. You can at Roller Kingdom. Stay away from the drugs.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Stay away from the drugs. That's a real commercial. There's a whole story behind it. You can look it up, but all of that is real. That was aired in Nevada television. Stay away from the cocaine.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Go roller skating. Great time. Great time. Or watch Colorado football like the rest of the country is. I will. I cannot wait for this weekend. Number 10, Oregon. Let's see if the Dion train can keep on rolling. As we'll keep on rolling next time, and I'll talk to you then.